make the process happen, which was not customer friendly.
And the discussion too with special ed was, where do you store all of the files and cabinets? And all of that was a huge discussion. If you're moving it from, and also there was competition with the Career Center, adding classes and needing the downstairs floor. So you can't put, it's not feasible to put the special ed offices upstairs and all of those files. That was part of the discussion. We never came to a final recommendation of where that building, so it was all sort of, and then TVLA, if they were moved down that hall, where do they go? And so there was a discussion and things brought to the board, but it was never a full, in my opinion, thought out. If we move puzzle piece A, then it'll fit here, and the whole thing has to balance.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of logistics that went into it, a lot of analysis that went into it. There were some differing of strategies of how we could go forward with it, but at the end of the day, the logistics played a major factor in the reason for the way the vote went on April 13th, April 11th.
Well, there was discussion about moving TVLA to Fisher. But if TVLA needs a principal to supervise, there was discussion about then having to hire a whole new principal.
Sure.
Well, and there were a lot of costs associated with the actual computer setup for TVLA. That was a major component as well. I mean, there was truly infrastructure costs associated with that. So there was no one thing. There were a lot of different, I don't want to say competing interests, but reasons that, at the end of the day, that was a major component. And the fact that it was with the move of SGA that was happening at the same time, there was a lot going on.
Right, and if you have to open up a whole other building, the true cost of SGA to move things around and true cost of closing Kennedy, if you really have to open up another building and hire a new principal and hire a new secretary and hire, you're losing savings. So you have to balance this all out, and that's, we need to have a balanced discussion about what's best for the district. And I'm sorry, but not have, we want input from people, but I don't want people sitting there saying, don't close my building, don't close my program. So just give us the facts, give us a recommendation, what's best for the building, what's best for our kids, or the district and the kids. But to me, part of this discussion got to be, don't close my school, don't close whatever, and then premature announcements repeatedly about closing Kennedy, it just didn't help. So whatever we do needs to be well thought out with data, and regardless of what happened here, we're moving forward as a board.
Yep.
There's 7 of us sitting here now. We can learn from what this discussion was, but we're 7 people with the cabinet. How do we move forward and make this decision?
One of the, before we can make any decision, we need good info. So, if we need more info about safety, egress, if we need more info about special ed office location proposals, or, relative cost versus benefit of any other office movement, it sounds like some of the work the task force did stands alone right now is just as good as it was when it was put together. It sounds like now that since we've closed SGA and realized those savings,
And have the logistics behind us.
what other pieces of this proposal do we need to build on? Do we need to gather more information on? Thor and Leanne's piece that they'll be forthcoming with about, from top to bottom, buildings of highest need all the way down. Oldest to youngest, best to worst, so to speak. Most costly to maintain, least costly. Those are things that without that information, we're guessing. But once we get that put together, that will help with our next steps.
And is it possible to grow the Career Center and grow TVLA in the same building at the same time? What's the plan for that campus? So
Right now,
we
grow.
move school improvement out of the upstairs.
Yes.
we have vacant classrooms, but they're not necessarily accessible to all of our students, so they have limited use. So that's all part of the discussion, but it's, all like I said, it's all interlocking.
You're right.
You can't just one day say, we're gonna do this, and not look at the 20 things that it affects.
True.
That's really, to your point, that's really why this, in a sense, didn't go forward at the time, because
Right.
it did need to be one cohesive plan. And with the logistics that we were undergoing at SGA at the time, it was just, wouldn't have been in place in time to ensure a smooth and effective transition. Or effectively the start of what was this year, because the proposal was to begin with ninth grade transition.
Correct.
Well, and I just need to add this too. We also had the factor of a superintendent and assistant superintendent leaving, and hiring a new superintendent and assistant superintendent took priority.
Oh, sure.
And we had discussion about the new team making decisions together rather than the old team making decisions that possibly our new team couldn't live with.
That is
Correct?
spot on. That is spot on.
So it wasn't like we shirked our duties.
Oh, no.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and if we need a notebook this big of data that you know, that will help you make your case on recommendations, what needs to be done, then, you know, send it to us.
And I would rather we do one thing really well than three things pretty bad. You know, so if you look at, you know, the SGA closure moving sixth grade, by all accounts, that went well. But I fully agree that had the board tried to close SGA and move sixth grade, redistrict all elementary boundaries, and move a high school in a 2-year rolling closure all in the same summer, by the way, while trying to bring 2 newbies up to speed, probably wouldn't have gone so well. So
2 newbies who might have run.
I think sometimes less is more, provided you still make progress. And so the fact that SGA in the sixth grade hurdle has been hurdled and it went well, and is going well, and hopefully will continue to go well, I think that's kind of a model for the next steps, slow and careful and thoughtful and well planned. And so, however I can help, one reason I went, originally this was a cow, and we had to turn it into a special meeting, and one reason I wanted to bring it up at a cow is it's more of kind of that discussion workshop deal, so we can really, we're not voting on anything, it's more of a Q&A, just a fact find, and I wanted to get some information out that I had found, because some of the things I wasn't clear on, you helped clear up quite a bit of those, and then as you walk away from this meeting tonight and take this stuff with you and reflect on it, please talk amongst yourselves, direct emails or questions to me or, you know, me and the cabinet. We'll begin to source any information that we collectively need as we think about, okay, where are we now, and what do we need to put together moving forward.
All right, anything else there, sir? And I
That
think,
would be all.
the closing, moving to sixth grade, and went well.